What are they going to do when they're extremely hungry and there isn't enough food to go around? Michael Snyder reports, I'm so concerned about America's young people. Police are telling us that a YouTuber named Kay Sanat sparked a full-on riot Friday when he announced that he would be giving away PlayStation 5 consoles and various video games accessories in New York City's Union Square. Thousands upon thousands of young people showed up, and the crowd quickly turned extremely unruly. If our young people are going to write over a few video game consoles, how are they going to behave when economic conditions in this country become extremely harsh? And what in the world is going to happen when they're extremely hungry and there isn't enough food to go around someday? And as I covered in a previous article, a global famine has already begun. The UN is telling us that 2.4 billion people already do not have enough food to eat, but those of us that are fortunate enough to live in the Western world simply do not understand how bad things have become on the other side of the planet. Supplies of food are getting tighter and tighter, but our countries have the resources to buy up enough supplies to feed our populations. So for now, we are seeing much higher prices, but we are not facing imminent shortages like they are in Africa, in the Middle East, Asia, and elsewhere. But when shortages do start happening here, will the U.S. population be able to handle that? After what we witnessed Friday, I think it's a question that we should all be asking. A full-on riot broke out Friday in New York City after gaming streamer Kai Cenat announced a PlayStation giveaway on social media, and with the media calling the young attendees, what the media called young attendees could be seen jumping on cars and twerking and fighting with police, things like this. Most of the young people showed up hoping to get a free PlayStation 5 console, and it certainly did not take long for the mood of the crowd to become ugly. Within a half an hour, the crowd of a couple thousand turned ugly and unruly, and the New York Police Department whisked Senat out of the area for his safety. New York Police Department Chief Department Jeffrey Madre said, "We have seen this so many times in recent years. Once thousands of unsupervised young people gather into one place, the mob mentality takes over very quickly. But this is what we wanted. For decades, we've been pushing morality out of public schools and now have millions of young people that will go completely wild at the slightest opportunity." One woman climbed up a traffic light and stood on the sign, twerking above crowds. A group left firecrackers in one section of Union Square Park as arrests were being made, which prompted panic and false rumors that of things that had occurred. Others pounded on the side of the city bus. People could be seen climbing on top of another bus and jumping up and down. At least one person was seen setting off a fire extinguisher, and a car was damaged by riders jumping on the roof and kicking in the windows. So it's an inevitable result of failed policing policies of our leaders. Things are only going to get worse. Today, organized looting is completely out of control. In fact, Wall Street Journal published a major article detailing how highly sophisticated groups of thieves are systematically looting Nike shoes at every step in the supply chain. The company's warehouses, trucks, and stores are regularly targeted by crime groups looking to steal and resell Air Jordans. How is Nike going to stop this? They're going to have to put armed guards on every truck. Are they going to put armed trucks in every guard in every warehouse? And how long will it be before we see armed guards in every food truck and in every food warehouse? Because this is where things are eventually heading. As I discussed the other day, hordes of predators are roaming the streets of our cities, and many of them are underage, and the following example comes from Zero Hedge. A disturbing pattern of out-of-control kids have been overserved in several U.S. cities. This might result from progressive leadership in city halls failing to enforce law and order while supporting disastrous defund police efforts that have transformed city streets into war zones in a few short years. The latest example of this chaos comes from an inner ring suburb of the city of St. Louis in St. Louis County, Missouri. Now, the police said they received videos from anonymous sources. There's an open investigation into who these kids are and why they are doing these things. How would you feel if you looked into your front door security camera, saw young kids pointing weapons at you? When I was growing up, there were still parts of the country where people would not even lock their front doors at night. Well, I grew up, I finished high school in Canada. We never locked our doors. Just because it's so cold sometimes in winter, people have to come in for heat. But now, anyway, that was another day and age. But now things have completely changed, it seems. Our culture is saturated with violence. Many of our young people physically use their strength to provoke at slightest provocation. In fact, the writer says earlier today I came across a story about a young man, that is accused of literally going against a 71-year-old woman, an Oklahoma suspect. Now, whether you like it or not, this is our society now. At this point, massive brawls are even breaking out amongst a group of adults. Shocking video footage showing moments a mass brawl broke out between a group of people in Alabama riverfront. Witnesses claiming the fight started with an argument over a pontoon boat that was blocking the dock where a riverboat was trying to moor. Can you imagine? Well, how strange. So why does it have to be like this? Why can't we all just love one another and help each other solve our problems? There's so much hatred in our country today, and the divisions are tearing our society apart, are getting deeper with each passing year. If things are this bad now, while economic conditions are still at least somewhat relatively stable, what will our nation look like once the economy completely falls apart? You might want to start thinking about that, because that day is going to arrive a lot sooner than people think. This is by Michael Snyder. It says about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, Commissions Earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing, and one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so you won't miss any of the latest updates. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the most important news. And the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. And this is by Michael Snyder on End of the American Dream. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.